Hi, welcome to Tales of Tales with MD. We are here again with another fresh episode and a new, very interesting guest. Today, I have Hetal Sheth with me, who is a pet photographer and an animal behaviorist. So, let's talk to Hetal about her photography journey with our amazing furry friends. Hi, Hetal. How are you?
Hi, Nisha. I'm good. How are you?
Very good. Okay, so Hetal, let's start with are you a pet parent?
Not currently. So I had a pet where before I got married,
Uh-huh.
and now I don't have a pet. But I have been a dog trainer since 5 years now.
So
So
how did,
yes.
since you're not a pet parent, so how did this journey or decision into, okay, I want to train dogs or animals start? Usually people who are with animals continuously, get into this. So how did that transition for you happen?
So I think as a kid, I was always fascinated by animals. Like I even I would not watch cartoons. I would watch Animal Planet.
Mm.
And as a kid, I had many stray dogs and cats give birth in my building, and I would take care of the puppies and kittens. So then from I think from childhood, I was always inclined to do something related to pets. Then I did get a pet home during my teenage years. So the spark was always there. And after I worked in a 9 to 5 job, I realized this is not for me.
Mm.
And I wanted to follow my passion. And that's when I came across this dog training course. So I became a pet trainer. And then I was always interested in photography as a hobby.
Mm.
So I decided why not club both? And I self-taught the photography bit to myself. And with my experience as a dog trainer, I was able to like make pet photography as my new passion. So yeah.
Interesting. So, let us talk about pet photography because it's not a very popular profession, and very few people are into this field. Like when I also started looking for photography for my pets, and I have still not got that done because I could not figure out who could do it with me. And both, I have two dogs, two different breeds, and now I have a kid also. So I wanted like a family photo, but I could not ever figure out okay who can manage all of this together. So tell us about pet photography. What is the process like? What are the challenges involved? How do you go about it while you do the shoots or meet parents and you know uh, plan this entire thing?
Right. So what is different in a normal photography and a pet photography would be that pets are a challenge to
Hmm.
shoot. Okay, you cannot give them like instructions.
Hmm.
They will follow commands, but then not all dogs will follow the command exactly the way you want to.
Hmm.
You have to be extremely quick, extremely on the point to get the proper shot, to get the right moment, to capture the essence of the relationship that the pet parent and the pet have with each other. And because see, like with humans, I can tell you, right? Okay, stand this way, look
Yeah.
sideways, now look down. But with dogs, it's not that easy.
Mhm.
So as a pet behaviorist, it comes naturally to me. I'm able to guide the dog as to how to pose and get those pictures that the pet parent will cherish for life,
Hmm.
right? The other challenges is because like you have to understand how dogs behave. Like you cannot expect them to pose uh, for 2 hours at a stretch, right?
Correct.
They need to take those breaks. They need to take have a breather in the middle. So if all of that a photographer doesn't understand, you will stress the dog. And when a dog is stressed, you don't get those nice, cute pictures,
Hmm.
right? The so all of this is something that a normal photographer would not know. And pet photography is like the niche of photography, right?
Hmm.
So that those qualities is what a pet photographer has. Okay, the other challenges would be okay, so there are nervous dogs.
Hmm.
There are different breeds. Like you said, you have two different breeds, right? So each breed's approach would be different.
Hmm.
Each dog's approach would be different.
Hmm.
Like you have to, with a nervous dog, you can't just go and, okay, now just, like get in front of the camera and do this command, do that command. No, that will not work. You
Hmm.
have to first, so which is why I always meet the dog and the dog parents once before I do the shoot. So the dog also knows me. I take my equipments along, because like there could be dogs, like if I'm doing a studio shoot, right? So there is
Right.
flashlight.
Hmm.
So that could like scare few dogs. So they have to, so I take like first 15 minutes just to get the dogs used to all the equipments around,
Hmm.
and like not be so skimmerish, like they just be okay, honestly.
Hmm.
So make sure that they are well settled,
Hmm.
they are comfortable with everything that is around,
Hmm.
and then I start the shoot. So that's why I meet the dogs before, I understand their nature, and then plan my shoot accordingly.
Okay. So, what are the I understand that it's quite challenging because they are not, people say it's like very small kids also. They will
Yes,
not do what you tell them. And though kids understand, but they will still not do what you tell them. And dogs do also understand, but they still have their moods.
yes.
So, how do you instruct the pet parents? This is what you prepare and come, or this is what you should be ready for, for them, because I'm sure it doesn't end up in a timely shoot. 2 घंटा plan किया तो 2 घंटे में it will happen. So how do you manage that, and what are your some tips and instructions to pet parents that when you plan a shoot or when you think of a shoot like this is how you prepare yourself, and your dog also.
Okay. So usually what I do is I ask them to carry their favorite treats.
Hmm.
Okay, so at least that is something which I know will work with the dogs.
Hmm.
Also, a few toys for that
Hmm.
matter.
Hmm.
Like, any specific toy that the dog likes. So I can use that toy to get the dog's attention. And on that particular day, before the shoot, I ask them not to do any strenuous activity with them, so that they are relaxed, they are not overworked.
Hmm.
So if also depending on the dog, like let's say if it's a nervous dog, then I go to the house so that
Hmm.
the at least the environment is familiar.
Hmm.
Or if they want to do an outdoor shoot, we find out a time and place where there are less dogs, less humans. So, early morning shoots,
Hmm.
so that there are not many people out in
Yeah.
the beach or a park for that
Hmm.
matter. So, like, we plan that accordingly.
Hmm.
And what I tell the pet parents is like not to expect everything that you have in mind. Okay,
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
just keep your mind open. We'll get the shots, we'll get
Hmm.
everything, but don't have a set mind, because, like you
Okay.
said, right, with dogs, it's not possible that whatever you have planned will happen.
Hmm.
So I usually plan for like let's say maybe 30 different type of poses,
Hmm.
because I know out of that I will be able to do only 15,
Hmm. Okay.
right? Because like let's say if I want our both pet parents and I come up with, okay, this is the kind of shoot that we might want, or these kind of things, like so there was like this one dog who used to love stealing, and they wanted to capture that essence of
Okay.
the dog stealing the food. And we were like, okay, fine, we'll have this kind of a setup and this, and then we'll get the dog to shoot. But the dog was so nervous that day that he just would not
Didn't
go
do it.
near the food. or do anything of that sort. So I was like, it's okay. And we just let it go. And but I knew he will do it when nobody is noticing it.
Hmm.
So I just asked the pet parents to like sort of just take a walk around the studio and keep the food right there. And as soon as the dog went for it, I
You
took the shot.
captured it.
So when you expect a lot of things, is when the dogs usually
Yeah.
don't perform that way. So I tell the pet parents, "Okay, listen, trust me, I will capture your bond with the dog,
Hmm.
but don't be so rehearsed. Like a pet photo shoot cannot be rehearsed, cannot be pre-planned to the T.
Okay.
So you have to keep your options open."
Okay, great. Um, so when you started pet photography, was it so you started I think 5 6 years back, 2019 is when you started.
Yes.
So was it challenging? I'm sure it was not a very popular ask at that point of time. You know, like for example, grooming has also grown over the years, and pet parents have realized the importance of grooming. But photography is something which is not a necessity. So and I'm sure it was not popular at that in those years. So you know, how did you build a profession out of it? You know, why I'm asking this is, like, for example, there may be other photographers like you who like animals, also very good with animals, and photography is a passion for them. And if they want to build that as a career, so what is it? What are the challenges they could face? How did you progress in this journey of getting more work? And convincing pet parents ki, you know, obviously this is not a necessity, but good to do kind of a thing.
Yeah. So in the start, it was very challenging.
Hmm.
I think I went on for months without any photo shoot assignment.
Hmm.
But I kept at it. I kept on honing my skills because, like, as I mentioned, this is self-taught, right?
Yeah.
So I built my portfolio. I
Mm-hmm.
kept on shooting for my friends' dogs
Hmm.
so that I could have like a sort of a
Work
album
to show. Yeah. Yeah.
work to show, right?
Hmm.
Uh, okay, so these are the kind of shoots you can get of your own dogs.
Hmm.
And I think it was the COVID, the pandemic, where when people realized what uh, dogs are for
Yeah.
them,
Yes.
like the family, because you were stuck in the house, and then there was a big boom also when a lot of
Yeah.
people got home,
Got pets. Yes. Yes.
right? And like just how uh, short the life is of a
Hmm.
pet is when I think it's during pandemic when people really realized it.
Yes.
And post that, I feel like just showcasing your work now makes people be like, oh, yes, I do want this for myself, for
Hmm.
my family. I want these memories. I want to remember my dog the way he is right now and not, later stage pay when he's like very close to his end
Yeah.
years. Because also what happens when the dog is a little older, the dog will not be able to jump. The dog will not be able to like do a lot of tricks which he would do as a teenager or
Yeah. 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 As a puppy
as a
or
puppy.
yeah.
So I think the realization has already started in people. So the work is coming in now. Also, for the new photographers, I would like tell them that just be at it.
Hmm.
Keep on taking pictures. Even if you don't get work, take pictures of your friends. Do like short shoots. You can have like mini shoots
Hmm.
where uh, the client doesn't have to shell out a lot of money,
Hmm.
but so you go for like a lot of clients
Hmm.
for like a fraction of the price that you're paying,
Okay.
so that and the deliverables are that less,
Hmm.
but that way you get many clients and you have a lot more work to show.
Sure. Yes. Oh, that's a good tip. That's a
Yeah.
good one.
So they can do like a mini shoot. So you're spending the same amount of time that you would be doing with one client,
Hmm.
but you get like five clients paying for that amount of time,
Hmm.
and you're still doing the same amount of work. So it's not like you're doing something more. This way you reach out to clients which may think twice about approaching you.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, and maybe like even with the pricing, you can figure out like
Hmm.
what your market is
Correct.
and price accordingly.
Okay.
So
See, so you are a pet behaviorist and a trainer, so you know a lot about the nature of animals. So, how you handle them during shoots comes naturally to you. But
yeah.
say somebody who doesn't have this pre-qualification but has a passion for photography and loves animals. So, what are your some of some guidance to them that maybe this is how you can maneuver or manage dogs during shoots and get the kind of shots you want to?
Okay, so for them, I would suggest if they could sort of do like an internship with another pet photographer.
Okay. Hmm.
If they have absolutely no interaction with other
Hmm.
dogs, let's say.
Hmm. Hmm.
If they do have their own dog,
Hmm.
then they are to some extent equipped to handle
Yes.
dogs,
Huh. Huh.
right? And in that case, like if they
Hmm.
have a dog of their own, what they can do is at least start shooting dogs who don't have any other behavior issues.
Okay. Hmm.
Okay, there would be. So like they could avoid shooting nervous dogs, they could
Hmm.
avoid shooting aggressive dogs.
Start with
They
more
should get,
easy ones.
yes, to start with easy ones, to start with puppies for that matter.
Hmm. Hmm.
Because puppies are very like comparatively easier to manage.
Okay.
They
Okay.
are all over the place, but that will be a challenge that they can give themselves,
Okay.
right? But yeah, like to avoid nervous, anxious, and fearful
Hmm.
dogs.
Hmm.
Uh, and if they do want to understand, maybe they could do like a short course on understanding dog behavior.
Hmm.
So that would help them with the photography bit. Or they intern with a pet photographer.
Okay.
That can also help.
Those are very nice tips for somebody who wants to make a career into this.
Yeah.
Now, my next question is on the place. Okay, so you mentioned that you speak to the pet parent and accordingly, collectively, you decide whether it needs to be an indoor shoot, an outdoor shoot. So, what are the one is the challenges, and also which is the most demanded space? Like, do people want to shoot at home? And if at home, then what is the kind of things you need to be sure of? If you want to do an outdoor shoot, and since you mentioned you also have created a studio space, so why is a studio space needed for this kind of a shoot? Can somebody not do it in a small space, like a small room or somewhere, or a bigger studio space is needed? So tell us about why it is needed, and second also, what does it help in to get better output?
Right. Okay. So all three setups, your own house, an
Hmm.
outdoor shoot, and a studio shoot, have their own appeal. Now, there could be some pet parents who might not want to do it at their house for their own personal reason. So then they would prefer an outdoor shoot.
Okay.
There could be pet parents who are like, oh, my dog is an outdoor dog. Like that is where he comes alive.
Yeah.
So that is a reason they would want to do an outdoor shoot. There could be some pet parents who are like, hey, I'm not sure if my dog would be very happy outside, like a nervous dog,
Hmm.
an
Hmm.
anxious dog, or even like an older dog, right?
Hmm. Okay.
Who cannot move
Much.
around
Yeah.
much, which is why for them a home shoot is better.
Okay.
And then there are people who would prefer a studio setup because of all the props that you can
Hmm.
use for like that clean and clear, clutter-free
Free
background.
background. Yes.
So the three setups are for three different types
Hmm.
of clients.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Like one client will not be okay with all three or either,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? So that is why these three setups are there. So in a house shoot, when you go, you have to just ensure that you have the enough lighting happening,
Lighting. Yes.
right? Because a house shoot and an outdoor shoot is entirely, majorly, I would say, not entirely, but majorly dependent on natural light.
Hmm. Hmm.
You usually don't take your studio light out there, though
Correct.
there is an option. but then the whole point of those shoots are to capture dogs in the natural light.
Natural lights, yes.
So you have to ensure that the house, if they do want to do a house shoot that has enough light coming from
Hmm.
the windows, you plan it during that time of the day. So you
Hmm.
wouldn't plan it in the evening,
Hmm.
because evening is when the lights start to diminish, right?
Producing, yeah.
So you don't have that much of time then. So
Hmm.
you plan accordingly.
Hmm.
Outdoors also you want to plan at such a time that there are not many people around.
Hmm.
And studio, I would suggest to have a decent amount of space, because with studio lighting, you need to have enough space between your lights and the backdrop.
Hmm.
Also, with the dogs, you need to give them space
To move, yes, because
around.
you can't control them or
You
keep them
can't
in
control.
one place restricted.
Yes. And also for the dog, it's a new place,
Hmm.
right? So you don't want them to be a little nervous about, oh, what is here, what is there. After, like, let's say you have done with few shots, you give them that space to just run around, to
Hmm.
smell, to
Nice.
move around, so that
Okay.
they are fresh for that other set of shots that you have. Which is why for a studio, yes, it cannot be very compact,
Hmm.
but in a city like Bombay, it's not very easy to get space.
Yes.
So a studio setup is something which is not very, very easy to do.
Okay. Okay. So you mentioned props, which what you use at your studio. So what are these different props which you use, and which are the most favorite props so far while the shoot is happening?
So I don't think there is a end to the list of props that you can use. Uh, so you can have like birthday shots. So you have these banters, you have your party hats,
Hmm.
glasses, you have bandanas, you have clothes, you have bubbles, you have like a picnic setup, you have cake stand, you have streamers. The list goes on and on and on. Okay, you could also have like a royal looking chair
Oh,
and the dog
nice.
sitting on it with a crown. So
Oh,
like it's like a king. Then you can have a tutu around the dog, like a
oh, very nice.
ballerina.
Hmm. Hmm.
So then big brother. So shoots with kids, right? So big brother, small brother.
Hmm.
So you can have those kind of a setup. Even the setups that baby photographers do, like,
Hmm.
with those,
Yeah, yeah. Baby photo shoot is also very creative.
it's very creative, right? You have the whole thing like a jungle setup.
Yes.
You can have and a
In the
pilot
sky also they
setup,
do. Yeah.
sky pilot setup.
Correct.
So the same thing, like what can be done with a baby, can be done with dogs.
Oh,
So
awesome.
the props, anything. The world is open.
Oh,
The
very nice.
most requested would be birthdays,
Okay.
right?
And what do pets like? What do dogs like most? As in, they just go naturally in with
Food,
those props. Food. Okay.
food. So
Yeah.
a birthday cake,
Also,
they'll
you
naturally
put
just,
you get an actual cake for them, and then they
yes,
go all out. Okay, nice.
yes, yes. So you just get like a birthday cake on a cake stand and they'll go like chomp, chomp, chomp,
Uh,
chomp. Like full face is smeared with the cream and everything.
that must be a very nice capture. But
Yes, yes, it is.
so let me take my case. So I have a Labrador who is 9 years old, and I have a Lhasa Apso who is 3 years old.
Huh,
So they are different, very different breeds. They are very different sizes and
yes,
very different age gap also.
right.
And one is very playful, and considering my elder one, his name is Whiskey. So he is more laid back, relaxed,
Feedback.
and
Yes,
lazy now. So, but there is a certain friendship between them, that they don't come in my way, I don't come in your way, and
right.
but Oreo always bothers him. Sometimes like she'll
Hmm.
try and snatch his food, and she'll try and pounce on his food, and he'll clearly go back and say ki, and he'll then look at us, okay, she has eaten my food, now you give me more food, but he
Right.
doesn't do anything. So
Huh.
so how will you capture this? And in between all of this, there is my kid who is like now 15 months old. She goes and she'll pull his tail, she'll pull his ears, and he's still sitting quietly and not doing anything. And
Right.
on the
Right.
other side, if she does the same thing with Oreo, she growls. So, so if I want
Hmm.
to capture all three of them together, with very different personalities and things which they are doing. So how will you manage that?
So, in such a scenario, I would suggest a house shoot
Okay.
because you have two dogs
Hmm.
and two different personalities. You have a daughter,
Hmm.
so they would be more comfortable being in the house. Or if you do want to do an outdoor shoot, I would suggest in a park where they do frequent visits.
Okay. Hmm.
So they are aware and they are like
Comfortable with the environment.
comfortable in the environment.
Hmm.
And with such a situation, I would just let them be.
Okay. Hmm.
Like, do whatever you want. Like you mentioned that with the food, they would have some kind of conversation with each
Yeah.
other, right?
Yes.
Like
Yes.
where Oreo goes and whiskey's like water. So I would just tell you to, I would plan the shoot around their meal time so
Uh-huh.
that if we
Okay.
are putting the food down then, and
Hmm.
then whatever they are doing, I'm able to capture it.
Hmm.
Uh, Also, with your kid, like maybe if she is going to follow few instructions, then okay, tell her, okay, uh, now go play with whiskey.
Hmm.
Just let her do whatever she wants to do. If you try to like tell her, no, 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 you go and pull her tail, your kid's not
Obviously
going to
she'll
do
not
it.
be. Yes.
Not going to do it. So
Yes.
I don't want to instruct her.
Huh.
I just want them, I would just tell, go play, do
Okay.
whatever you want.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then she will do it. She will do things that she wants to, and we'll capture that. So during such a shoot, I will see if I've got enough shots,
Hmm.
then we wind up in
Okay.
that
So
time.
basically, a lot of detailed conversation with the pet parent is needed to understand the routine of the dog and also the relationship of the dog with different family members. So you can think and ideate and plan shoots
Yes, yes.
accordingly.
Which
Yeah,
is why I meet the pet parents one day
one
prior,
day prior.
whatever, like
Yeah.
a few days prior, to
Okay.
understand
Hmm.
them and their relationship with the dogs, everybody's relationship with each other, uh,
Okay.
their stories.
Correct.
Like how did you get the dog? It
Hmm.
could like the dog was gifted to you. So
Hmm.
if the dog was gifted, I would probably plan like a ribbon on the dog just
Ah,
to get
so
that wish,
nice.
right?
I
Uh,
I actually imagined that. That was a
yeah.
cute.
So like a big ribbon like on as a collar on the dogs. One shoot where some, this could be incorporated.
Very
Like
nice.
so that's
Hmm.
why the conversation is so important before the shoot, so I can also plan the shoot accordingly. There could be things just in conversation that the pet parents tell me, and they don't even realize that this is so important to them. And then when I'm able to capture those moments and then show it to them, oh yeah, 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 he does
He
this so.
does this.
Oh yes,
True.
wow, this is so cute. This is exactly who Whiskey is.
Yes.
So yeah, so conversation I would say is like half of the work.
Yeah, so more pre-planning needs to be done for
Needs
a
to be.
very good output. And I think the job becomes easier then.
Yes. See, pet photography is more about the relationship.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Because it cannot be rehearsed.
Hmm.
It can't be pre-planned. It's just the relationship, the bond that you have with your dog.
Yes.
So for that to be captured, you need to
Come
have,
out in the pictures,
yes,
Yeah.
to come out in the pictures, you need to have that kind of understanding of the relationship that the pet parents have with their dogs
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
or the family has with the dog. And only then you are able to like sort of be ready for those moments. You know when those moments will come, like when they are doing this, there's a possibility that this moment will creep up. So you be ready with your camera.
Okay.
Yes.
So you have also done commercial shoots.
Yes.
So is a commercial shoot different from say a personal shoot, or the dynamics are same?
No, it's completely different
Hmm.
because in the commercial shoot, you're not, trying to capture the relationship. You're
Okay.
just trying to get that is more structured. Like,
Okay.
okay, you want the dog to go and sniff the sniff mat.
Okay.
Okay.
Hmm.
So you're not going to be like, okay, the dog will come whenever,
Acha, matlab,
do
you'll
all
not
of
let the dog be on their own.
Nahin. So tabhi the commands have to be very so I would also try to find dogs who will follow the commands.
Ah, okay.
So
Okay.
for a commercial shoot, I have few dogs already in mind
Okay.
who
Okay.
I have worked with before, or even if
Hmm.
I've not worked, I know I ask the pet parents, these are the commands. If your dog follows them, then I can take the dog for the photo
Okay.
shoot. Because
Nice.
they have to be like, okay, sit, stare, stay, or
Okay.
those few basic commands, but they should be able to do it. So like with a sniff mat, I'll make sure that there is food inside. So the dog will come and sniff, and then I take those shots. That is a much more structured. I know exactly what shots I want, and I will ensure that this dog is of this kind. So these are the shots which I'll do with this particular dog. These are the shots which I'll do with this particular dog. So yes, that is
More
completely
structured
different because it's more about the product,
product and not so much about the dog.
not so much about the dog or the relationship with the dog and the human. So
Okay.
the human may not even be the pet parent.
Correct. Okay.
It
Yeah.
could be
True.
another model, right?
Yes.
So there will not be a relationship between the
Hmm.
dog and the model.
Hmm.
So yes,
So you have shot with dogs also, but you have shot with cats also. So,
yes,
and both the animals are very different in terms of
very
how they
different.
behave. So what are some peculiarities which you feel, while handling cats?
So to even to like pet dogs, you can still give few commands.
Hmm.
With a
Cats.
cat, nothing works. You have to just be behind them with the camera. Okay, now the cat is doing this. Click, 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 click. Okay, now the cat is okay. Now, no, no, click, 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 click. So
Nice.
that's the difference.
Hmm.
Uh,
So it's
though
it's
yes,
completely impromptu with the cat.
completely impromptu. Like
Yeah.
with a dog, I can still get the attention with a toy. Like, yeah,
Yeah. Or
look,
some
look, the
food or
toy is
something.
here. Or the pet parent is behind me dancing. So the
Huh.
dog is looking, and then I'm like, yes,
Huh.
the cat will. Okay, wherever the pet parent is, I don't care.
Yeah,
So you
I'm
know,
in my
like
own world.
right in front. A few toys though do help with cats.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, and specific food helps with cats. But yeah, I mean it's limited.
Okay. Great. So it was very interesting, Hetal, as in got a lot of insights on what goes behind a cute dog picture or a cute pet picture.
Yeah.
Um, so this ends my second session, and I started my final section of the show, which is a very fun rapid fire. And
All right.
so let me ask you some fun questions. You don't get time to think; you have to answer very
Okay.
promptly. And if you're
Done.
good at it, I'll give you a hamper towards the end of the show.
Yay.
Yes. So go for it.
All
So,
right.
what's the funniest thing a pet did during a shoot?
Oh, he peed all over my
Equipment.
stand and everything.
Oh, okay.
It was funny because then I was like sitting and clicking the kind of pictures like okay.
Okay. Okay. Have you ever photographed an exotic animal?
No, not yet. So I have my
Or do you
like
wish to?
I do.
Who
So
do you want to photograph?
maybe I mean I could have because like a Weimaraner is not
Oh,
very common, but like a Weimaraner is not very exotic for me because they are my best friend's
uh,
dog. So so yes and no because like I still have my sight set on like other breeds, but yes, a Weimaraner is what I've shot.
okay. Okay. Ever has a pet, photo bombed his own photo shoot
Oh, multiple times.
multiple times?
Multiple
Okay.
times.
They are pro at it.
They're very pro at with dogs. They just move around like they don't care. And even if like I'm shooting one dog, there will be like this other dog who comes from
Okay.
behind. And if I'm shooting, the same dog will just okay, I've just got the shot and I'm like clicking and they'll just move. And I just have their nose as a shot instead of like the whole
The
face. So,
face. Okay.
so yes.
Which pet do you think would give you the best blue steel look?
That's a tough one because all pets give very cute looks. Maybe a cat.
Cat. Okay.
Cat, yes,
Who
like
are you? What are you doing?
yeah,
If pets could give selfies, who would nail it?
a golden retriever.
Okay, okay. Yeah,
A
that's
golden
cute.
retriever will nail it.
Yeah. Okay. So most dramatic diva moment you have witnessed while you were shooting a cat.
The cat would just not look into the camera and would give me her tail view. Every time I would go close, just turn around,
Turn around.
view, and I was like, okay, okay. It took me a good 15-20 minutes to like get him used to like looking into the camera.
Camera.
So,
Okay. So thanks, Hetal, for joining us. It was great talking to you, and I'm sure it will now encourage more pet parents to capture these beautiful moments with their pets. And like the theme of this show, Tales of Tales with MD, and what you do go very well together. I also started this because I wanted to immortalize the memories we have with our dogs, and you
right.
definitely immortalize the moments we have with our dogs.
Yeah.
So it goes hand in hand. And thank you for joining us on Tales of Tales with MD today.
Thank you, Manisha. This was amazing. I had a blast talking about this. It feels good, like talking about things you're passionate about.
Yes,
And I hope more pet parents understand the need. Like, you don't have to wait till the end moments
yes.
to capture those, to have those pictures, right?
Capture more happy moments, while
Capture
we
more
make them
happy
happy.
moments and like how important they are in our lives. Like
Yes.
just with a camera, it's not very easy to capture all of those moments. So yeah, I mean, this was very good. Thanks.
Thanks a lot.